This podcast is hosted on podhome.fm, the most modern podcast hosting platform. Podhome offers unlimited episodes and podcasts, and unlimited use of Podhome AI, which generates transcripts, clips, chapters, title suggestions, show notes, and much more. And all of that for just $15.99 a month or $185 per year. That's a steal. So go to podhome.fm and start your 30-day trial now. And enjoy the show with Joe.
Rooz Show, the show where we talk about anything and everything, where nothing is sacred, nothing is watered down, and nothing is PC.
All righty. Hey, folks, this is Joe Rooz, and it is great to be with you once again, transmitting live at the Asylum. And, of course, as always, doing the very best we can to bring you the best quality talk radio we could muster without all the bluster. Welcome to the show, folks. Got a great question for you, just to get right into it. Great question for you. What makes horror so compelling? Why do we willingly read stories about monsters, zombies, and the apocalypse? Why? It's a great question. Is it just for entertainment, or does great horror reveal something deeper about human nature? Well, tonight, I'm going to be joined by Bram Stoker Award-winning author Nzondi, also known as Ace Antonio Hall. And he is a former educator turned best-selling author, musician, and creator of the expanding DeathCon Universe. We're going to talk about creativity, fear, maybe some storytelling, building a multimedia brand, and, of course, his newest novel, DeathCon, A Zombie Story, which is going to be a lot of fun because I like that whole Walking Dead stuff, so it's always a lot of fun. So, folks, grab your favorite beverage, settle on in. We're going to take care of some of the housekeeping, and then we'll get right on into this. So, in the meantime, if you would, please head over to our website, joerooz.com. That's joerooz.com. When you get there, look for the contact form. It's hidden in that little pancake in the upper right corner. Click on that thing, open up the web form, send us over a message. Let us know whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind, any questions, comments, cares, or concerns that you might have. Maybe you have a complaint, shouldn't, but you might. You can send it on over to us. Maybe you have a suggestion for a guest or a particular topic you'd like us to cover during the course of the week. Let us know. We would love to hear from you and get your feedback on it. Now, if you're anything like me, you don't like using the web form. Why? CAPTCHA drives you freaking crazy. All right? Match the crosswalks and the buses and the cars and the bikes, and, you know, it's a headache. That's why we have an email address. You can always email me directly at info@joerooz.com. That's info@joerooz.com. Also, please don't forget that this is a live show, weeknights, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, we have our Sunday show every Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you come by and check that out, our Bible Study Sunday. Always great to have you folks there with us when we go through those Bible studies. They're a lot of fun, a lot of good information, I think, anyway, because, I put it together, so I can say that. But seriously, yeah, come on over, check it out. Now, you can find the show live, of course, on Rumble at rumble.com/JoeRooz. You can also find it on YouTube at youtube.com/@JoeRooz. And, of course, audio is available. Live streaming audio is available on our website at joerooz.com. Also, if you're checking out the show on any of the modern podcast apps, you can listen to the live stream audio there as well. And then all the archives are available to you on the website as well. So make sure you head over there and check it out. Another thing that's very important is remembering the algorithms. All right, algorithm. The best thing you can do for us is to help us get found is to like, subscribe, share the show with your friends, your family, and your followers. That way you'll help us to spread the whole thing out, and that's what we want. All right. Let's see. Tonight's connection is brought to you courtesy of A Creative Edge. Publicity at its finest. Your brand and your future. All right. Well, with all of that said, let's bring our guest up onto the stage. Now, tonight, our guest is Bram Stoker Award-winning author Nzondi, also known as Ace Antonio Hall. He's the first African-American author to win a Bram Stoker Award in a novel category, thanks to his acclaimed novel. I'm not going to pronounce it right.
Owari
Mosaic. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get the first one. I got the second one. We're good. All right. Before becoming a full-time writer, he worked as a director of education in New York, and today he's building something much bigger than books. He's building a multimedia universe that combines horror, science fiction, music, and storytelling. His latest novel, DeathCon, a zombie story, launches readers into a zombie outbreak aboard a horror convention cruise. Great setting. Blending monsters, military conspiracies, romance, and survival. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about creativity, education, publishing business, and whatever rabbit holes or trails we find along the way. And Nzondi, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. I'm at the Joe Rooz show. Very glad to be in the asylum. I love that.
Because it's a nut house.
For a lot of reasons. Yeah.
It's a nut house. But it's great to have you here, bro.
A fellow Brooklynite. Yeah,
right.
man, I love it. Yeah.
That's right. I don't get a lot of Brooklyn folks on the show, which is kind of depressing. It really is, because you have to kind of tailor what you say to people. That make it so much more general, so they understand what you're talking about. You throw something Brooklyn at them, they're not going to understand. No one understands what a Sicilian slice is.
Oh, come on!
Yes. Outside of New York, nobody
Nothing like it.
Yeah. No. Hey, so have you ever been to L&B's down in Coney Island?
Where? Like actually at Coney Island, or
no? It's in the Coney Island area. It was Stillwell Avenue and I forget the cross street there.
No.
Dude, if you like authentic Italian pizza, you got to go to L&B's.
Oh, you got to text that to me. Cool.
I will. The best place.
I'll be in New York in the next month. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Give my regards to Zorhan, whatever his name is. Let's see. So, Nzondi, so you weren't always a novelist, right?
No.
What was life like before people knew you as Nzondi?
There was a hole in my heart. It's like when you're meant to do something and you just can't, you don't know what it is yet, and you're just trying to find your way. I guess that was me, and classical story. I went to school at CW Post. Shout out to LIU, Long Island University, CW Post. I went to school there, got my Bachelor of Arts there. I studied filmmaking and screenwriting. And while I was doing that, I was in the studios doing music, I had a deal with Calliope Records, a spec deal doing music. And none of those things I actually really ended up doing. I didn't write a script until maybe 40 something years later. Wow. And, I just went right into teaching, which was a steady job. It was money, it was good money. And I love teaching. I love working with, I worked with second through fifth grade, children on the spectrum in East Hampton. And then I worked mostly though with eighth graders in Hempstead. And it was great doing that, but it was a hole. There was a hole. And then when I finally quit, when I finally had almost a six-figure job as a director of education for the Civil Learning Center, when I finally quit that in 2006-ish, in 2008, that's when I decided I want to learn how to write. I thought, I was an English teacher and thought I knew how to write, but I didn't know how to write novels. So in 2008 is when I started learning how to write. And that's when I started feeling my soul. So yeah, before all of that, it was kind of like a little void, a little hole in my soul. And until I started actually learning how to write, was when I felt like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Now you said it took you 40 years to write your first screenplay. Yeah. How old are you?
Bruh, July 4th, last Saturday. I don't know when this is going to be. This is live. So July 4th, last Saturday, I turned 60.
Get out of here.
60.
No way.
Yeah, man.
No way.
I turned 60. Yeah, thank you.
The lies. There you go. See, I can't do that anymore. All right, so I'll be 56 this year.
Yeah, you look great. Yeah, okay.
Well, it's the Just for Men.
It's the Brooklyn. Yes. I get it.
Yeah, dude. If I let this all go, I'm as white as a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
That's it.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, August 1st though, I have a recurring segment on the show that I do on Wednesday nights. I have a Wednesdays with Wayne segment, which is just about emergency preparedness. And he has made his announcement that August 1st, he is shaving it complete. He's going the Peter Gabriel look, shaved and goatee. And I told him, I said, because I think it's BS. I don't think he's really going to do it. So I told him, I said, well, if you do it, I'm going to do it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. August 1st, I might end up being, you know.
So emergency preparedness.
Yep.
Remind me to tell you about a few different stories. One that just happened 3 weeks ago. That if you have a little bit of that kind of background, you can prevent a grave situation. Maybe that has, I don't know. We'll talk about it. But
yeah,
go
absolutely,
ahead.
for sure. So now this is a serious question. I mean, where did the name Nzondi come from?
Love that. So my father, give you a little background. My father was one of the founders of an organization in the late 50s called AJAZZ, A-J-A-Z-Z. I'm sorry, AJASS. And they actually were the founders of the Black is Beautiful movement. So a lot of things that African Americans have today, a lot of liberties, were because they put the groundwork in and established the Black is Beautiful movement. So my father, of course, being involved in that, also he actually published the first Black superhero, Little Zing, 3 years before Black Panther. So because he was rooted in that, he was absolutely rooted in African culture, ancient Egyptian culture, which was African, this color skin, before they got, taken over from Middle East. And he named me after a king of Kemet, which laid down the stellar systems for the first calendar. His name was Asimandisi.
Okay.
So that's where Ace comes from, A-C-E. It's actually pronounced Ase. And my last name's Hall, but Ase Hall kind of turns to something else. So I put Antonio in the middle of that. and
I was not expecting that one. All right.
Yeah, he named me Asimandisi Nzondi Hall. And Nzondi is from the eastern area of Africa. I'm sorry, the western area of Africa. So that's, it's Nzondi. Asimandisi Nzondi Hall is an African name. So
wow, okay, that's great. So I was saying Asi wrong then. I was saying Ace. You see, you should have corrected me. But okay, that's all good. That's all good. See, I like the fact that you spelled it out for us in your little name tag there. That helped.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to pronounce the N or not.
Yeah, some people say no Zondi, no, I'm like, no, it's Nzondi. So yeah.
All right. You actually know where I got the tip from? Alexa. No.
Oh, what?
Yes, I have a little cube over here, and so I asked I asked what exactly the Bram Stoker Award was, and then I was just curious. So I said, list the first African American to win the Bram Stoker Award, and and she came up with your name, and she pronounced it properly. So that's where I learned how to say it. But I'm glad you put it up there on the screen anyway, just in case.
And just so that people know, Bram Stoker, because a lot of people, unless they're readers or horror writers, they don't really know what it is. It is the equivalent. If it was in film, it would be the Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
But Bram Stoker is like the Oscar for horror writers. It's the most prestigious award a horror writer can get. So I was blown away when I'm like, wait, they just call my name? It was crazy. But anyway.
That's amazing, though. And congratulations for that. Congratulations. It's like I don't know. I'd never heard of the Bram Stoker Awards until I got your packet from Mickey, and so I looked it up and I was like, wow, this is interesting. I've never heard of this thing, and it is really a very prestigious award and it's well deserved. So congratulations, man.
Thank you.
All right. So all right, I'm going to take you back a little bit.
Okay.
All right. What kind of a kid were you when you were growing up?
So I was, I was an asthmatic. So, I was always in the hospital, at least once a year for about a week, asthmatic, taking my puffer, but wanted to be a runner, and eventually kind of learned how to deal with my asthma. I was like always the third fastest in my classroom, the third fastest. I loved comic books to this day. Collected comic books. Spider-Man, the most, probably have like $3,000 worth of Spider-Man comic books. Probably more than that. Really, it's probably worth more than that. But big Spider-Man, big Marvel guy. Loved reading Machine Man. E-Man was one of my favorites, maybe because I forget, Nova was E-Man's girlfriend, and she was so fine. I was like 12 years old looking at that fine chick. So I loved comic books, and my sister or either my dad got me into like horror, like King Kong, Godzilla. So I used to draw those comics, Godzilla. I used to draw my own superhero. So I was that kind of kid. Always into trying to tell stories, horror stories to my little nieces and scaring them. And, wanted to be, that kind of ladies man kind of kid, but I was such a dork back then. So yeah, that was me as a kid. I had the Evil Knievel doll that you scrape your knuckles. You scrape your knuckles on the cement, and then he goes out. I had the $6 Million Man with the little eye. I had Bigfoot. He used to fight. I had the Batcave. A lot of times I was on my own, and I would just create these stories with Batman and the Hulk fighting, all these different characters. My Spider-Man, so yeah, I was that kid. Very creative.
I really think that our generation was probably the best generation. We had some of the best stuff. We really did. The most creativity comes out of our generation, I think. My personal opinion.
I really think so.
Well, we had to use our imaginations. We had toys to play with that. We didn't have video games really until what? The late 80s.
Late 80s, mid 80s, yeah.
Somewhere around there. And then didn't have cable. You didn't have Netflix. You didn't have all that other stuff to occupy. You didn't have the little stupid thing in your hand that you play with all day long. You didn't have any of that stuff.
Oh, did you have the electronic football? That was just the dots.
That was my favorite thing. I used to hide.
Bring it to school, and they just to take it. The teacher would get mad.
I never. My parents were really strict on that. Like I couldn't get out of the house with stuff that I wasn't supposed to have with me during the day. But what I would do is at night, I would hide under my blankets, and I'd be playing the game, and listening to see if I hear Dad coming or something.
It was so.
But that was great. Man. I used to love that game. And you mentioned a lot of stuff that I love. I had a very extensive collection of comics. I had Spider-Man comics. I was on a mission to collect the older Spider-Man comics. Cool. And I was doing all that stuff, and I probably had about 15 of those white acid-free boxes full of comic books. Yeah, in plastic wrap with the backings and all that stuff. And somewhere along the way, they just disappeared. I cannot find them. I swore up and down that I left them in my parents' house, and when after my parents passed away, when my sister and I went through the house, we couldn't find anything. So I don't know.
If I would have known we were talking about comics, I would have brought some and just look at this one.
Tease me with it. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. That's all good. We like that. We're gonna hang up on you now. I'm kidding. And Godzilla. I mean, I still, when I was a kid, they used to have the Saturday movies on Channel 11 or something like that. And they used to have all the Godzilla movies, the King Kong movies. And I remember as a kid, I used to sit there and camp out. I would have my lunch and have my little peanut butter and jelly sandwich, chocolate milk and something, and just there and just eat and watch Godzilla movies. So what do you think of the new or the latest Godzilla that came out, the -0, right? -0? Yeah, because -1 is coming.
One of the best. It is the absolute -0. It is the -1.
No, -1. -1, and now -0 is coming out.
You're all right. So -1. It is the absolute best Godzilla movie I've ever seen. I mean, because it's a story that involves plot, character, love, emotion.
It's more detailed. It's more deep. Yeah. It's a deeper movie than the 60s version of Godzilla that was trying to be nice to the kids. The dancing Godzilla and the jumping Godzilla.
Yeah, it's absolutely the best. Yeah,
I thought it was fantastic. And have you seen it in the black and white version yet, or?
Yeah, I think so. That was a while. Yeah, I think so. A while ago. Yeah.
I love they're
no,
both great.
no. I'm thinking of Spider-Man Noir because we watched that in black and white. No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I
No.
saw that too. I watched that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I watched the entire first season.
Yeah.
I
Did you
was
see it in
just sitting
color
there,
or black and white?
the black and white. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, if you see it that way first, you really appreciate it.
yeah. But the Godzilla is so much better. It's the same exact movie. It's just without color. That's all. So, but it's so much better. And
Really?
it's so much more menacing. Like just the
Black and
scenes.
white. All right.
Oh
I gotta
yeah,
see it in black
yeah,
and
yeah.
white.
No, you got
Okay.
to. I think it's on Netflix. I think they have it,
Okay. Cool.
the one or the other. But yeah, dude, we have so much in common with this stuff. This is just blows me away.
Cool. And they're
So
doing a great job with the whole Monarch series. I like what they're doing with that.
yeah, I saw the first season of the Monarch series, but I haven't gone back to it yet. I'm going to. It's on my list.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So winning the Bram Stoker Award, and we talked about it a little bit before, is it's a pretty exclusive club, to say the least.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
What did that recognition change for you?
Oh, a lot. Oh, a lot. I mean, it allowed me to get one of the best publicists in the game, and join the exclusive Creative Edge publicist agency.
Shout out to Mickey.
That was like number one. Yeah. Shout out to Mickey. Shout out to Mickey. And it just allowed just so many different doors to open. I mean, literary agents would come to me and ask me if I had stuff. So that never happened before that.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, it just opened up a lot of doors. The prestige. When I started doing what do you call it? Keynote speaking job. It allowed me to start doing keynote speaking jobs, all paid for, flying me, taking care of me, hotels all paid for. I didn't do any of that stuff before that, So
Yeah.
it really opened up a lot of doors and opportunities for me. And I'm looking forward to getting another one. Let's go. Let's go for number 2.
All right. All right. So over the last, I want to say maybe decade, maybe a little more than a decade, horror really has exploded. Why do you think people keep coming back to monsters?
So I always think the best horror doesn't just ask what's under our bed. It asks what's living inside of us. It doesn't ask what lives under our bed. It asks what's already living inside of us. And because of that, it explores a lot of different fears that actually symbolize something that we all can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And, like the Night of the Living Dead really explores, it's a social comment,
I think
it's
it
one
really
of the
gets into
best-
human nature.
Yeah, and it's one of the best films ever made, but it's a social comment. The Walking Dead it really isn't even about zombies. It's about how scary people can become,
That's a great point.
And Obsession, which I saw last week, and it blew my mind. To me, because I haven't done any reading on it, to me, it's kind of like when you mess with magic, understand that there are going to be some consequences. There are going to be some costs.
Yeah.
Have you seen Obsession?
Not yet. No, it's on my list though.
Bro. I forget the girl's name. She definitely deserves some nods or some kind of award. She was spectacular. But it opens up that door. This guy really wants this girl. No spoilers. This guy really wants this girl to like him.
Mhm.
And he does what he thinks out of desperation, what he should do to get her to like him, and suffers the consequences. So
That's
Yeah.
interesting. So why do you think humans like being scared?
I don't know if it's so much as we like being scared, that is that we like feeling something,
Mhm.
And I remember listening to this was it a Jill Scott song? No, it was I forget the name of the artist. I can't think of her name. And she says, like, why does a kiss from a stranger feel so much better? And it's like, it made me think, like, why what is that? And I think it has something to do with the monotony of our lives. Once we, get into a certain routine, we really need something that's different to feel, and horror makes you feel,
That's a great
fear
point,
is,
man.
yeah, fear is one of the greatest emotions, one of the most powerful emotions, fear, anger, love. Um, but fear is one of those things that we don't come in contact with often unless you're like a parent, it's a different kind of fear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it opens that door. It allows you to just safely feel that emotion and safely wake up inside, feel something that's alive inside.
Yeah, I think not only did you provide a really good explanation for why humans love being scared, but I think you also provided a really good explanation as why people cheat.
Yeah,
You know, it's the thrill of it, the excitement of it, right? So,
yeah,
or replacing something
crazy.
that seemed or you think or perceived to be missing from your life.
I saw a clip today on Instagram that says something. I think it was like just trying to sell its product. And it had like this bird, and it said there was this experiment that they did with a bird, and when the bird knew what time it was going to be fed, it would eat, and then it would move on, and it didn't want to eat anymore. But when they gave it mundane type of feedings that wasn't normalized,
Mm-hmm.
it would just keep wanting to eat more and more and more. And it said that that's how our lives are. That's why some people become addicts in gambling and stuff like that, because you just really don't know. And the fact that you don't know when it's going to come, when it's unexpected, that that reward from getting something unexpected is a greater something we strive after more than something we know we're going to get check week by week or on a mundane basis. And that's kind of like marriage, love, relationships. When the honeymoon stage is over and it's the same exact thing every
Same
single
routine
day,
every day.
every year. I saw something really beautiful that said yesterday too on social media, and it said this girl was asking her father, how was she in love for 60 years? How did he stay together with his wife? And he said, you know what? Because every time she changed, I changed. And she changed. When she was younger, we did it this way, but when she got older, romance wasn't as important as cuddling. So I changed through that. When she got older, kids were more important than relationship. It's not verbatim, I'm just giving an example.
Oh yeah.
So each time the woman changed, he adapted and changed with her and learned to love the new her. And that for me, that's great, because I hate monotony. I hate, things being the same. So I can really understand that, and I can get into that. Like, and people do change. And definitely if you've been with a woman long enough, you know that they definitely go through changes. They definitely change. They change before children, after children, new job.
That's right.
No job, they change. New house,
Absolutely.
apartment, they change.
Yeah.
And if you can change with them, you can grow with them, you can stay with them. I think that's one of the keys of a successful long-term relationship.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I've known people that over the years that have gone through divorces because and the reason given is that I feel like we just went down two separate roads.
Yep.
We started here together and then we went this way, and that's because there's an unwillingness for either side to well, I don't want to say an unwillingness, maybe an unwillingness or an
unawareness.
An unawareness, yes, of the change taking place before it became too divergent and you couldn't bring it back. That's a great point.
And to be honest, if you're the same person you were 20 years ago and no growth, come on, man. Growth changes you.
That's a problem. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, come on.
It's one of the things I always say is like, I am not the same person I was 20 something years ago. I am not.
Not
I'm
at
very,
all.
very different. I think different. I act different. I speak different. I do things different, because that's growing. That's maturing. That's moving on to the next stage of your life. If you stay stagnant, I mean, who the hell wants to be a 50-something, 60-year-old guy with the same mentality of an 18-year-old? That's a problem.
Yeah. And it's funny because now I'm at the age at 60, last July 4th, I'm at the age that when I see someone younger and they're doing something where before being a school teacher, I'm always like wanting to try to teach them.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, they're young. They're probably, this is something that they'll have to learn and get through, or maybe they won't, but it's not, I accept them as they are. I'm not going to try to change them or argue with them. They're young. They'll get it. They'll get it soon enough.
In your experience, I know we're off the subject of horror, but in your experience, and I warned you about this before the show started, this is how it goes. But in your experience, especially as an educator and as a writer, when do you see or feel that people today, kids today, young adults today, don't look to the older generation for advice and counsel the way we would do that in our age?
I'm going to answer you in two ways.
Go right ahead. Floor is
When
yours.
I was 19 years old, I thought I knew every freaking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And people probably tried to talk to me and teach me, but I had to learn myself. I had to fall on my face myself. I'm that kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that that's just a part of youth, right? So I was that way. But we had more access to older generations when I was growing up. I grew up with my grandmother, so I really had access to the older generation.
Mm-hmm.
Music, books, TV, people. She taught me. She used to have club meetings, and all these people around her age. My grandmother started raising me when she was 70. I was 5. So yeah, all these people at these club meetings are all in their 60s, probably 60s and 70s, because she started raising me in the 70s, 60s and 70s, having club meetings, playing bridge. And I'm walking around, would you like something to drink? I'm bringing them nourishments and stuff like that, like I'm a little host, at 8, 9 years old, and I'm learning how to appreciate and how to respect an older generation immediately.
Great
so
point.
To this day, that's who I am. Even though I'm 60 now, I still 70, 80, I still respect and appreciate. It's different. It's totally different with kids today. And then I think social media has allowed people to be really mean and rude and themselves without having to be face to face with the person.
No accountability.
And no accountability. And I think that changed the culture of the youth. So I think they're a lot different than we were growing up because of what they've been exposed to. So yeah, it's a lot different.
Yeah, I
was
agree.
Was that your question?
Well, yeah. You hit some points of it for sure. Because I was thinking I've noticed that like you said, you see somebody who's younger than you, and they're doing something is not going to work out. It's going to be a mistake. That, and you want to say, hey, slow down, don't do that because this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you do it, then you get attitude. You get, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me how to live my life. Don't tell me this. Don't tell me that. And then you back away, and then they say, well, why did you tell me?
Right. But I feel like it's always been that way. It's just how we are. So. That's how we built. Yeah, I think it's more so. But as teenagers, you just don't freaking listen. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's more so because of those things like social media and
well, if you look at social media, even if you look at the children's television today, they portray the adults as moronic, incompetent, stupid, unable to do the simplest little thing. And of course, that translates now as a child watching that. Now you're going to look at all these adults and saying, well, screw them. Yeah.
And what's funny? All right. So to touch on that note, growing up, we had all these kind of shows. What's it called? The three men.
My Three Sons. My
Three Sons.
Right.
We had all these types of shows like My Three Sons, Lassie, all of those shows where the father and the mother and the parents were really, respectable. And I didn't even know growing up that an adult could be an idiot. Till I got older, and I was like, Uncle Doc was an idiot. Like, I didn't even realize that. I just listened to everybody, you know. And the kids today, they know that Uncle Doc is an idiot. You know, they see it portrayed. I didn't even realize that an adult could be like an idiot, like make bad decisions and be stupid. You know, I didn't even realize that. You know, I just respected all adults. Yeah. So yeah, that you're right. They have been shown all the idiots, the adult idiots. And they're like, I'm not listening to you. You're not even making that kind of money. Yeah, we didn't even know that. We thought, you know, Uncle Doc was making good money. We didn't know he was like living off of his Social Security, you know, whatever.
True. Very, very true. That's a great point.
I had no idea. You're like, I'm not listening to you. This influencer is making, you know, 100,000.
I think that's another problem too, right there.
Yeah,
influencers.
So,
you know, that I think, you know, just horrible examples for kids. You don't really find very many influencers that or very many people who are considered to be influencers who are directing people on a better path of life. Every influencer that I've seen has always been about drinking, partying, drugs, women. You know, I'm trying to think of the word. For some reason it flipped out of my head. Womanizers and things like that, and you know, everything's an object. Everything can be bought and sold. And
can I be a contrarian, sir?
Yes, sir. Please.
Can I be a contrarian? I think it's a beautiful life, man. I think it's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful life that we live in, where you can have absolutely no talent at all. I mean, it sounds ironic. It sounds like irony, but you have absolutely no talent at all and still succeed. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful life where now, and actually the undertone is they do have a talent. They have a talent to influence. They have a talent to gain attention, where now your skill sets, you don't necessarily have to have skill sets that are like taught in school or taught in a skill center. You know, your skill sets are based on your personality. I think it's a beautiful life where anyone can succeed if they understand the tools that they have and how to exploit those tools. I think that's beautiful because it wasn't always like that. And I like that part the same way I like that people like different things, you know. I grew up always loving sports cars. So I didn't really like Mercedes-Benz and you know, luxury car. I really didn't like them. I wanted the Ferrari, the Porsche, you know, the Corvette Stingray. You know, we used to play. You know, I see that car, and when you see that car, that's your car. You know, and on the bus on the way to school, and not talking nothing about my book. And
we're getting there. I'm going to steer us back there shortly.
But I love the fact that, you know, if everyone had the same skill set, the same likeness, it would be so boring. All black cars, all black Mercedes. You know, I hate the smart car. When I look at a smart car, I don't even know why I get angry. It's so short. I don't understand it. I get angry, but I appreciate it because it's different. And it's, hey, that's what that guy likes. That likes blue, you know, red. They got the new gray cars now, the brand new gray cars. They look different, you know, matte gray kind of vibe. You know, I like change and difference. Like I told you, I don't like monotony. So it's beautiful that someone like what's her name? Kim Kardashian started off, I think being like a fashion designer or some kind of something designer in the Hamptons, and had the wherewithal to turn that into something risque and then turn that into a $1 billion business. It's amazing. I love that we have the opportunities to exploit that, and it's a world where you can do that. So
you said it better than I could. I was going to say, yeah, she made a porn tape, but I like the risque better. there you go.
Yeah, man.
Oh, dude, man. All right. We got 20 minutes to go here, buddy. So let's get back to the book. So what separates good horror from cheap shock value?
I can't tell you that. I can say what I try to do, and when I teach and when I have panels and I do writing courses, stuff like that, I try to get people to understand that what's more important is to have compelling stories. That your story is compelling. And then there are different ingredients into doing that. And the reason why I say that, oh God, don't come at me, is because there's a book that became very popular. I always forget the name of it. God darn it. And it turned into movies. It was very popular. Sex book. Gray, something.
Oh,
Shades of Gray.
50
Shades of Gray.
Yeah.
Okay. So my ex-wife loved it. And she went through the book and read it and loved it and was reading the second book and blah, blah, blah. And it became a movie. And all the women I knew at that time was loving it. So I got the book. I was just starting out as a writer, maybe a little late, maybe I had just written published my first book. And I tried to read it and I couldn't get through like page 11. To me, I didn't like the structure of how it was written. In other words, it was trash. The writing was trash.
Mm-hmm.
But what did it teach me? That the readers did not care about the structure of the book. It was a compelling story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the author did. She wrote a compelling story that everyone loved and could get into, the juicy story, the tea. And that's what was most important. So it made me learn and step back. So when you say shock value, trash, bad horror, good horror, I mean, listen, as a student that made films, that went to school for filmmaking, as bad as everyone talks about Sharknado, if I was the one who put out Sharknadoes, I'm running all the way to the bank. You know what I mean?
It's true. Yeah,
whatever it was, I have to respect the value of that artistry. So I can't necessarily say, what makes it good, what makes it bad, except for just try to make it a compelling story. And there are ingredients to make it compelling. So that's
what are some of the ingredients to make a compelling story?
Some of the ingredients, of course, is making sure that the characters are characters that the reader can relate to. Okay. When you see yourself in that character, you can relate to it, the things that they went through. What I always put in my stories, because it's important to me, because I taught 8th graders the most, is trauma. A lot of people at this age, I'm part of this organization called the Mental Health Initiative with the Horror Writers Association.
Okay.
I feel like there's not one person in this world that doesn't have some type of mental health issue. Some people deal with it a lot better than others, to the point where they can, you don't even know they have a mental health issue. But I think everyone has some kind of mental health issue. And I truly think that almost every single woman, every female has had some type of trauma in their lives. And when you put that into your character, the reader can relate to it.
Okay.
I try to make the characters go through as much hell as possible. The reader can relate to that, because most people don't have, oh, my life is so great and juicy and everything.
Very true.
Great. No, they have a lot of different issues. And so part of it is having complex characters, or characters that people can relate to, that you show that they deal with different problems with identity or transformation, and so that's the biggest part. And of course, understanding just the tools of writing a good story, the plot, starting to hear the arc of the character, those are kind of things you have to study yourself. But understanding, how to write a good plot, understanding how to write good narration, understanding the big payoff, having a good payoff, whatever seeds you plant at the beginning of the story, you kind of sprinkle it throughout the story. You tie the different chapters together so it's a string. And then there's a big payoff, like, oh, this is why this character did this. So a lot of those things are what helps you make a compelling story. But it's all really about the character.
It's really. I think you're right. I think you nailed it with being relatable. I think people tend to gravitate toward a character and a story that in some way, maybe not directly, is a picture of something going on in their lives or something they've experienced. Absolutely agree with you. Relatability is the key, I think, to good character development and empathy. Story development.
And empathy. If you can create, if you can put the character in such a way that the person empathizes with them. Mm-hmm. Do you know that almost every major Disney character is an orphan? We
Yeah,
instantly have empathy for them.
yeah, that's true. That's very good. It's a
Yeah,
great point.
yeah.
And I knew that, but I didn't relate it to the conversation today. I'm glad you mentioned that. That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
So we have 15 minutes, believe it or not. So give us the elevator pitch for DeathCon. Why that story?
I can teach you how to write an elevator pitch, which I did at the last StokerCon conference. I remember one of my fellow writers, she gave us this pitch and my eyes were like, oh my God, no. The elevator pitch is supposed to have these elements, but I can't tell you my own elevator pitch. But what I can tell you is this. It's a block. I'm in a block. But what I can tell you is most of what I write is not what it seems. I guess you can call that psychological horror. Most people think they're getting DeathCon, which is like StokerCon or Comic-Con. It's basically, it starts off with this horror convention on the seas, on a ship, a horror convention on a ship, and where people come and they're dressed up like, their favorite horror icons, and it's supposed to be fake, but it all of a sudden becomes suddenly real. That's what they think it's about. But my story is really about, it has metaphysics in it. It's about transformation. I like to read something that shows you transformation, if I have a minute to read something.
Yeah, please.
It's about altered states of reality, because I like most of my stories have something to do with the consciousness and the mysteries of the consciousness, ancient knowledge, and identity, because I'm dealing with a lot of teenage characters, and teenagers is the adolescent stage is all about identity. Who am I? And I love it when my characters are like, in DeathCon explores this. This is who I was, but I'm becoming something else. And am I afraid of who I'm becoming? And so I explore that, and I love exploring those kind of things and those kind of scenes.
All right.
Like I said, the best horror is not about what's under the bed. It's about what's living inside of us.
I agree with you. That's a fantastic point. So why don't you read what you wanted to read for us?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see.
Because if it's what I'm thinking, the direction you're going to go, I have a great question for you.
Okay, cool. I don't think you're gonna, All right. So there's a section in my book where my main character, she dies,
okay,
and is resurrected. And I purposely use the word resurrection in a lot of my books, because the living dead, I love Walking Dead. I love the whole living dead concept, but I like to explore the architecture of death and resurrection. Means that person died and came back to life, but people who understand what resurrection, what it is, that person is now alive. Their bodily functions are still, functioning. It's not like they're living dead. They don't have a heart. No, everything's still functioning. They just went through death and now they're back alive. So same thing happened with my character. So when she went through that stage between life and death, I explore like what happens. And so here's a part that comes before that happens, and it deals with transformation. All right.
Okay.
They're on a ship. They're looking for this shapeshifter who had bitten my main character, and she doesn't know after she's been bitten that bite is going to kill her or transform her. She doesn't know that yet. Did you get her? PD asked. Don't know, maybe, Med said, scratching his head. I glanced down at my bruised, dirty feet. Okay, and the person that's talking is my main character, Cozy. I glanced down at my bruised, dirty feet, and right between my legs scuttled a creepy, crawling cockroach about 3 inches in length. Its antenna twitched, and it circled around my left big toe and proceeded to crawl up my foot. I immediately scoffed, kicking it off, and watched it as it sputtered its wings in flight, fought against the wind current caused by the copter. They're in the helicopter, and then morphed into a woman, Rosalind. This time, she didn't hide behind an illusion of clothes. With thick, wrinkled skin that appeared gray, she glared at us with black eyes. black as oil. Her hair blew in the air, red and wild like flames. Blake raised his rifle and fired. Shoot her! Petey, Mez, and Blake blasted at her. The bullets bounced off her like they were throwing kernels of corn. She walked toward me with a smirk on her face, her hips swaying. You should thank me for saving your immortality, she said. Without moving her lips, she spoke in my mind. Without your heart, you would have surely perished by morning. Now it is time for you to become whole. And that section is in, DeathCon, a zombie story.
Wow. That was really good.
Thank you.
Holy cow.
And I took those characters. Huh?
I could actually picture the scene in my head as you were describing it. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. If you look behind me, you can see the cover of my book right there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 3 characters on the front. And those 3 characters are in a group called the Scream Teams. They call their little group the Scream Teams. And in my book, necromancy is like as common as the code. And the Scream Teams are hired to raise the dead. Sometimes someone died and they didn't get to say the last goodbye. Sometimes they raise the dead for police investigations. So who shot you? And sometimes they raise the dead just for necrotainment, And that's why they're on the ship. They're on the ship, which is called the DeathCon. It's like StokerCon. They're on the ship to raise the dead for necrotainment when everything goes wrong. So the Scream Teens have helped me brand a brand new IP. I'm like developing this whole IP multimedia world. So I started DeathCon Universe Records and the screen. And once I saw K-pop Demon Hunters, I'm like, wait a minute. It was something that I always wanted to do like 10 years ago. And then one of my friends, his characters were in his horror characters were in a band, and it made me not want to do it. And so I took it out. But now the Scream Teens took my album that I released last year. I did a rock album last year, which did okay. It did pretty well. They got a really hot, really, really cool video. It got about 100,000.
You got to send me a link to it. I want to check it out.
Month. Okay. It's called Eaton Canyon Falls, about when I used to live close to Eaton Canyons and the fires came. Anyway, my group Scream Teams redid my album and talk about fear. A lot of my horror friends were like, AI. No, I don't use AI to write my book. Get out of here, But
good.
I took them and they resung my song, and I had to go in, because I have GarageBand, all these things, and re-edit it and change it and mix it up and, make it sound like how I wanted it to sound. And I put it out, and it's selling like 10 times faster than my album did last year.
Wow,
I
that's
think
great.
it already is at 3,000 streams. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So you can go on your DSP, Spotify, wherever you like, and look up the Scream Teams and hear a whole bunch of songs. About 30 songs out there now. So Scream Teams.
Outstanding. We're going to definitely check that out for
Thank
sure.
you.
So Cozy Coleman, she's not your typical zombie hero. What made you build your whole story around her?
I think, I just wanted to have a character. Here's funny. As a Black author, and I used to teach this in school. I remember when I was teaching English, in the first year I was teaching it in our textbook, it said, have your students write something they can relate to. And all my students were at-risk kids, divorced, families, dysfunctional families. And I'm like, I don't want them to write about that, gangs, whatever. I'm like, you guys can write about 2 old Italian people that fall in love. I used to say this. I'm like, you can write about some wars that are happening out in space, Star Wars. You can write whatever your imagination, just make sure you do the right kind of research to make sure it's, it's coherent. But you can write about whatever you want, not just your experiences. I appreciate a lot of my friends that write about the Black experience and, that kind of thing. That's cool. Like I said, I like a variety. Smart car, I don't really like it, but it's on the road. But I wanted my students to write, So I did that with my first book. You know, it was a Hawaiian girl, white girl, you know, Hawaiian girl, blah, 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 you know, and none of my Black friends, authors, no one even took a chance to even look at the book. And when I got the chance to revamp the book, you know, I changed it and changed a lot of it. I mixed it up. I changed the story. I changed the characters. I took that white Hawaiian girl, gave her an attitude from a Black girl from Brownsville, and just changed it. And she became, I went from Silver Slasher. She turned into Cozy Coleman.
Okay.
You know, a lot of things changed in the book. You know, my publisher said at StokerCon last month, I'm his best-selling author.
That's awesome.
So thank you.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
So if Netflix called tomorrow, who plays Cozy?
Zendaya.
Oh, okay.
Zendaya.
All right. That was quick. That was a good answer. That was a quick answer. So you already had something.
The reason is because I've been in development for 4 years. Actually, no, that was for Warrior Mosaic, the book that won the Bram Stoker. I don't know who will play Cozy in this. You know what? I saw a girl that I like. I think I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'd have to think about it. But for Warrior Mosaic, the girl who would play that character, Zendaya, because we've been in development for 4 years.
Well, maybe she can carry it over. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been pitching it. She could. We've been pitching that story. So that story is ready to come to life to a TV series.
Outstanding. Remember us little people when you make it, buddy. All right.
I got you.
There you go.
What's your team again? What's your team again?
Oh, the Mets. Yeah.
No. What's your other team that your dad?
The Red Sox. Yes.
The Red Sox.
Well, my dad was the Yankee fan. I just did that to twist him a little bit. Man, you got the last word on that one. But have you ever, in wrapping everything up, have you ever, while you were writing, get so caught up in what you were writing that you actually scared yourself?
No. Does anyone scare themselves when they write? No.
I do.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you gotta tell me about that. How?
'Cause I'm a terrible writer. That's why I scare myself. I have not written any books. I have an outline sitting in a closet someplace, but I've never written it. It's more of a memoir type thing. It's I call it Why I Wake Up Screaming: My Years Working for New York City. And each chapter, it's satirical. Each chapter is about a particular influence in the course of my career. So that's the general outline of it. Well, we'll get there. As soon as I can find an AI model to write it for me. I'm kidding.
Stop!
I'm kidding.
I found out somebody I know is writing all his books using AI. I can't even
like
tell
word
you.
for word, or just using it as a resource.
Word for word.
That's bad. See,
I didn't think any writers did that. It's scary.
No, actually, there are quite a few.
Out so many books a year, huh?
There are quite a few who do it, actually, which is pathetic. I think, in my opinion. Sue me if you don't, agree with me. But
you got to have your own ideas, your own imagination, your own writing. It's got to be who Art Holcomb. Went to some of his classes. A good friend of mine. He always told me you got to put something of you, whatever something of you is, into the book, and that's what makes it, distinguishes it from someone else. So if I get lost on the street, I'm going down the street and I get lost, I write down the name of the street sign, and somehow that becomes a part of my book. Whatever different things that happen to me, I somehow infuse it into my book, mix it up, and I have, a story that has a lot of little sprinklings and ingredients of something I've experienced. Right. So yeah.
So if you're
like, there's a section in my book that deals with actual raising of the dead, and I had to do a lot of studying about all the different spices and magic and different things you use to raise the dead. Yeah, necromancy, and I think it's kind of accurate. It's accurate. And when people read that, it's like, it's a part of who I experienced. I studied it, and I know people who are, for lack of a better word, they're witches. They say that they're witches, and that's what they are. Yeah,
and, I know a couple of folks like that. I've met several since I'm living down here, but you didn't really come across it too much when I was living up in New York. But here, you get that a lot. Yeah. So what do you hope that people remember long after they finish one of your books?
Yeah. So this new book I'm writing, oh man, I'm very happy about it. And this book is bringing all of my Cosmology together.
Okay.
And, I'm hoping
I love
that
how you light up
people-
talking about cosmology.
Yeah, man, because it took me a long time to get it to this point, and it's almost done now. I can finally hand it to the literary agent. I'm cleaning it up a little bit, but in this book, I took concepts that I've long studied in religion,
Mhm.
and I've taken different cultural rituals that I've studied from different peoples, languages, just a lot of different things. I've built this whole universe. I feel like I have this Star Wars, Lord of the Rings universe. I mean, I got maps, everything, laid out, characters, everything is all laid out. And when people walk away from that book, I hope it opens up their minds to a few different things. One, about, and it's very subtle, but one about how we touch each other's lives,
I like that. That's good.
I try to, thank you. I try to walk away from someone making them feel good. I don't want to, if every time you walk away from someone, they feel bad because of their experience with you, and you don't even realize that, that's a problem. But if you realize that, that's a problem.
That's a bigger problem.
Yeah. So, I try to walk away knowing that I've touched that person's life in a way that it kind of sparked something, inspired something. I mean, I know everyone doesn't have that talent. Everyone doesn't have that gift. That's my gift. And so when they walk away from this book, I want them to feel like they have something that they can touch the world with. One, that there's more to our consciousness and to the way that their consciousness can manifest in their lives. That's really important. Because a lot of people don't understand how powerful that their name is, how powerful their speech is, how powerful their habits are, and how powerful the conflict in their lives are. I always say, conflict is like, in order to manifest, you have to do a few things. It's like tuning a guitar. You have to tighten the strings. That's conflict. That's tension. In order to play a beautiful melody, you got to tighten the strings. So if everything's cool, you ain't there yet. It's got to be a struggle. It's got to be, So I think when they walk away from my book, they feel that, and they say, "Man, that was a scary ass book." I feel like I want them to walk away saying that too. Damn, that was a cool character. That was a badass character. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Got two more questions for you. Who is someone that you respect, and what are they doing, or what have they done that inspires you?
Personally, Heather Graham, I don't know how to say her last name, Pazier. She writes a lot of romance, but she writes a lot of ghost stories and horror. She was the first author I've ever met in 2008 when I decided I wanted to learn. And from the first moment I met her, she took me in, and I absolutely love and respect her. She puts out a ton of books. She probably has over 100 books out.
Wow.
John Mayberry, he puts out a lot of books. Very, very cool guy. First time I met him years ago. And the fact that he does martial arts as well, I love that. And he's a hard worker. He's a good guy. He puts out a lot of good books. Linda Addison, I don't think I would be where I am today if it wasn't for Linda Addison. It was a lot of people. But
That's
Linda
great.
D. Addison, man, I think she's a 5-6-time Bram Stoker Award winner.
Wow.
She's the queen of poetry, man. And she introduced me to a lot of people. She inspires me. We have a group chat. I mean, she probably just texted me. She's amazing and powerful, and probably Stephen King, I got like 10,000 of his books, and about 9,800 I haven't read yet. Because people know I love him, and they're giving me like book sets. I got so many of his books. I probably read about 50 of his books, but I still got tons more to read.
Wow.
So yeah, Lee Childs, I love his action and the way he writes, very intricate, And Joe Rooz, he got a really cool podcast out. The brother knows
Excellent.
how to do black on black. He's a former officer from New York. I love that. He's a New Yorker. I love that. He's from Brooklyn.
Right.
He's a Brooklynite. I love that. Got respect
You're
for
making me
him.
blush. Stop. It's enough.
Yeah.
No, keep going. I'm just kidding. All right, brother. Where can we go to find out more about you and about your work, sir?
Hey, go to nzondiauthor.com. NZONDI author.com. And from there, you have my books, find out a little bit about me. And that's the best spot to go to. If you want to go on Spotify, look up Scream Teens and become a Screamer, become part of the Screamer fan club. I'm telling you right now, you're going to start seeing, Scream Teen comic books, animation, movies, the whole nine within the next 5 years. So become a Screamer now so you can say I was there when it started. nzondiauthor.com. Yes.
All right. And we'll make sure we have all of those links in the show notes so folks can get to it easily without a problem. All right. And Nzondi, thank you, man. This was a treat, man. I really, really enjoyed this conversation. I had so much more I wanted to get to, but the hour got away from us.
How much time we got? Do we have 30 seconds?
We have 30 seconds. Go.
Go see Mandalorian and Grogu. Go see it. I worked on that movie for 6 months as a rehearsal actor. They brought me in. I'm an Imperial Guard. Check me out. I'm on it. Go see Michael. I'm the guy at the Gladys Knight Sings that gives little Mike the thing. And I said to him, what did I say? Knock it out, little Mike. But they took that part out. You just see me hand it to him. So go see Michael. Go see Michael. Go see Mandalorian and Grogu.
All right. Outstanding. We'll do that for sure. All right. And Nzondi, I'm going to put you backstage. I'm going to wrap this thing up, and then I'll catch up with you back there really quick. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Nzondi, this was a treat, man. Thank you again. Appreciate you. I'll see you backstage. All right. Well, look, you know what? I don't say it often when a guest really is a blessing, and Nzondi really was a blessing. It was a treat to have him on the show. It was great to hear the Brooklyn. It was great to be able to know, little things. And he only wore the Yankee hat because before the show I told him a story about how I'm not a Yankees fan, and he did that just to irritate me. All right, so that's all right. And I can say that because he's not on the screen right now, and I'm not going to argue with him. So that's all right. All right, well, because look, folks, tonight's conversation really wasn't about zombies, right? It really wasn't. We didn't get into it too much. What was it really about? Well, it was about imagination. It was about taking a leap of faith, reinventing yourself, and building something from an idea that only existed in your own mind. Now, whether you enjoy horror, maybe you don't, creativity reminds us that every story begins with a simple question, and that question is, what if? I hope tonight's conversation gave you a glimpse into the work that goes into creating worlds, developing characters, and connecting with readers through stories that entertain while asking bigger questions about fear, hope, identity, and perseverance. So again, my thanks to Nzondi for spending the time with us today. It was really great to have him here, and I'm looking forward to having him on again at some point. He just got to let me know if he wants to come back, and we'll do that. We'll make that happen. But just get out there, get his books, check them out, check out the website. It was really a privilege to have a Bram Stoker Award-winning author on the show. All right, shout-outs to our producing team, executive producers Wayne Rankin, Rosanna Rankin, Carolina Jimenez, Angela Watuski, and John Seeley. These folks donate their time, their talent, and their treasure to help put these shows together. And without their help, we wouldn't be able to get pretty much anything that we get done. And you can check them out because now that our show is listed on IMDb, they get the IMDb credit. So you can go to imdb.com, look up the Joe Rooz Show, and you will find us all right there. So very happy about that. Finally, it took how many months for them to approve all that stuff, but it came in. So, and if you would like to get your name listed on IMDb, all you need to do is head over to our website, joerooz.com/support. It's joerooz.com/support. And if you sign up as a producer of the show, that is a monthly recurring donation to the show. At the associate producer, or executive producer level, your name gets included in the IMDb credit and database. So please take a look at it. If you have the means and you're able to do it, take a look. We'd love to have you on board and kind of spread the work out for everybody else, right? That's the way it works. All right. Well, with that said, I think that should just about do it for tonight. So one more time, thank you to Nzondi for joining us tonight. Thank you to you for joining us here tonight. I hope you got something out of the show, as always. Please don't forget to head over to our website, joerooz.com. Send us over a message. Let us know what you think. And let's see. I think that should be it, right? All right. Make Texas independent again. Go podcasting. Keep a steady stride. And more important, folks, keep talking. We'll see you next time. Good night.